chewing body parts, and dissolving corpses in hydrochloric acid are just some of the few activities that serial killers love to indulge in while disposing of the bodies of those that they brutally murdered. With crime rates increasing with each day, it's only befitting that we come up with an updated list of the top 10 most famous serial killers. But before we get straight into the list, make sure to like and smash the subscribe button to stay updated with streaming encyclopedias videos. First up at number 10 is Richard Ramirez, also nicknamed the Night Stalker. He was responsible for the killing of 15 victims, with several cases of torture. His early diagnosis of epilepsy and his serious drug addiction were the primary motives for murder. Number 9. Alexander Pichushkin, often referred to as the chessboard killer, was known to target homeless men and murder them. He completed nearly 64 murders, the same amount of squares on a chessboard. Overdose on vodka seemed to be the main motive for these brutal killings. Number 8. Harold Shipman, also known as Dr. Death, a top-level British physician, nearly killed 218 people. Sentenced to life imprisonment, he committed suicide in his prison cell. Number 7. Luis Garavito. Colombia's worst serial killer has on his record the deaths of over 300 victims. The majority of them were young boys who he lured with candies or chocolates, whom he either tortured, raped, or killed. The result of his actions meant he had to spend over 1,900 years in jail, which in theory showcased the severity of his crimes. Securing 6th position is John Wayne Gacy, deemed the killer clown primarily because he used to perform as a clown in a children's show. His techniques revolved around the bribery of teenagers through money, only to sexually abuse them and kill them while dumping their bodies in a river. He was executed in 1994 through a lethal injection. Halfway through at number 5 is Jeffrey Dahmer. This one was simply a drug addict who loved to consume the body parts of victims who he murdered. Sounds a lot similar to some of the evilest women in history. So make sure you check out that video by clicking on the link on the screen above. Number 4. Ted Bundy. It often frightens me how an educated and handsome man like Ted could rape and murder young women and even indulge in sexual acts with their corpses. Furthermore, an inspection of his apartment revealed decapitated bodies and their heads displayed as trophies on his shelves. Taking the 3rd spot is Tsutomu Miyazaki. Known as the Otaku Murderer, he committed several hideous acts of crime, including abduction, murder, and even necrophilia on little girls. One of his many hideous acts includes drinking the victim's blood and eating her hand after killing her. Depression following the death of his beloved grandfather was the reason for his psychotic mindset. Number 2. Jack the Ripper. Roaming the streets of London in the 1880s, Jack the Ripper's victims, who were primarily sex workers, had their throats slit and bodies sadistically mutilated with a carving knife. His name remains one of the most well-known in the serial killer business. The most famous serial killer on our list is Ahmad Suraji, who was an Indonesian cattle breeder whose victims were mainly young girls and women. He used to bury their dead bodies in his sugarcane fields. He was guilty of conducting 42 murders and was sentenced to death. His execution was carried out by the firing squad. Well, that concludes our list of some of these horrifying serial killers alongside their disgusting acts. Which of their nicknames did you guys find most creative? Anyways, hope you enjoyed this week's video, and if you did, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure to check some of our other top 10 series videos.